welcome to Art Centric Studio. My name is Miss Becky and I'm the owner and one of the instructors at the studio. We are going to be doing a drawing prompt today from our April drawing prompts. We post these on social media. You can take a quick screenshot of them and reference them on your phone for your kiddos. You can even print them for your kids. We are going to be doing one-word prompts. There are 31 of them, so you can do one a day. You can combine them if you want to, or just do one that speaks to you. Today we're going to be tackling number 16 on our April prompts, which is "You're welcome." And "you're welcome" is based off the phrase from Moana. And so when I think of that, I think of the kakamora. And the kakamora are coconut guys that I thought would be fun to show you how to draw, because then you could repeat them multiple times on different things. You could use them a bunch of different ways. It would be super cute. My guys are going to be a little more complicated, but you can pick just one or two of them and just tackle those. I wanted to give you lots of options. So I'm actually going to draw 6 of them. I'm going to start by putting a line down here on my paper. This is a 12 by 18 drawing paper. I'm just using a regular pencil. You can use whatever you have laying around the house. Copy paper works great. No worries with whatever supply you might have. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 circles on my center line. I'm going to have one here and one here that almost overlaps the first one. And then this one is my biggest one. He's like the guy in charge. And then I have one that's up here, a little bit higher. I'm gonna put one over here, and then I'm gonna put one over here, okay? Now, the kakamora, though they look circular, they're actually more of like a boxy circle. So that means that their top and their bottom is pretty straight. So I'm gonna start adding those details to them now, of a top and a bottom that's more straight with like an angled side. These two are kind of stacked on top of each other, which is kind of funny. And then these guys are over here. I'm gonna put one here like this, and one here like this. Again, if you wanna just tackle one of these, you can. Hopefully I'll be giving you enough instruction that you can just pick one and go off of it, okay? So this one right here is gonna have a foot that's standing on top of his head. So I've put a rounded line down here, and then I'm making this foot straight with a little loop right here, and that's his other foot. Then I'm gonna have one arm and 2 arms, and right now I'm just sketching, so I don't need to put too many details in. Right now I'm checking my proportions on things. I'm trying to make sure if they have 2 arms sticking out that they're the same size as much as I can. They are not people, so it's great, because if they don't come out perfect, it's okay. They're not supposed to be, because they don't look like what we would think a person would look like. So there's that one there. And then this one was a little bit tricky, because this guy right here, this guy who's the second from the bottom in this string of 4 that I'm working on, his arms are up this way, because he's holding the legs of the other kakamora, the guy that's in charge. So we want his 2 arms drawn first, and then this little thumb part right here drawn. And then I'm going to loop 1 knee, 2 knees, and then foot, and then foot. Okay, and then his leg right here. His leg right here. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. I'm gonna erase some of that going on. Okay, then erase that while I'm here. I've got my eraser going. That center line is slowly going to disappear. You want to be sketching a lot of this before we go into drawing. And I will outline everything in Sharpie when we're done. And maybe color it in. It'll depend on my time with the recording. But okay, so now the bottom guy is the one that's actually holding all of them up, which is kind of funny. So he's going to have his hand and his arms like this, because he's really working hard here. Okay, and then his legs are angled slightly. And then we have one angle here, and then a little loop around right here. Okay, now we can't forget that this guy's legs are still here, so we're gonna add them sticking out here. So I've got 1, and then I've got 2 over here. Okay, so anything that's on top, which would be like the hands right now of this one, I'm gonna erase anything that would be behind it so it doesn't get too confusing, so I can kind of keep my people straight a little bit, which is a little more helpful during this, trying to figure all this out. Okay, so now this guy right here, he is actually touching the ground, I think, and this guy right here, loop around with his hand, but he's using his leg like a hand. So he's hanging on to a pole that the main guy's holding. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this area here so it's cleaner. And then same thing with this guy. So this guy, he's holding on to a pole, and I'm gonna shift his body over a little bit because he does not look right. Okay. Sorry if it's shaking the camera a little bit, but these guys are so funny. I think they're one of the funnier parts in the movie because though it's kind of like an intense moment, like even though they try to be mean, they're really cute looking, so it's not too scary. This one is higher up than the other one, so his arms actually won't touch the ground. And I'm gonna put his other arm right here and right in here like this. Okay. All right, so now that I've got these guys in here, I'm gonna erase and clean up some of my lines. Obviously I don't need that anymore. This straight line here, that helped me keep everybody lined up. Okay, sweet. There they are. This guy's the main guy in charge. And it says, again, they're not an egg shape. They're like a flattened oval almost. So we want to be sure to keep that as we go along. All right, so this one has their faces around like this. So I've got 1, 2. This one's really working hard using all of his strength here. His is more over to the side, his face, he's struggling slightly. Okay, this. Okay, and then this one is looking up because he's trying to make sure everybody's okay because he's holding everybody. So his face is kind of angled up. Okay, I'm gonna make his arm come down a little bit more. Holding everybody, just keep putting the details in, refine his body a little bit. It's funny how they are just so scattered all the time in the movie, but yet they somehow work together to attempt anyway to get the heart of Te Fiti. Hopefully you guys love Moana. One of my daughters did Moana themed birthday party, so we've done Heart of Te Fiti. I've done the patterns of Moana's outfit before for a birthday party. It's been a lot of fun, all the different things. Oh, okay, let me put his head in real quick. He is upside down. If you need to turn your drawing, you can. I might actually. He's also holding on to something right here, so I'm gonna put that in. And again, I'm using a Walt Foster drawing book for reference here on these guys, which is super helpful right now because personalities are so different that each of them are a little bit different in general. Okay, so the faces are all in. Now let's put in the spear. So I'm gonna have one here that's at the top of the main guy right here. It looks like a feather right now, but then it's gonna taper in and go straight down, and that's gonna be what this guy's holding on to, okay? Now this one's the same thing, but it's a little bit taller. So it's gonna go here, and then it's gonna taper down and go right through his foot and even come down the backside, okay? Then this guy appears really funny because he's actually angled a little bit, and he is living life. So we're gonna put a line right here, and then they've got all their weapons they've made, which are quite impressive. Put a little hacksaw here, maybe another one over here, and then angled lines out for the saw itself. They also wear hats, so I'm gonna put the top part, looks like almost like the top of an acorn, on this guy here. And then the big main guy also has a hat on, so there's a hat here. If you can't squeeze it in, it's okay. He's not gonna die one way or the other if he doesn't have his hat on, okay? And it looks like there's some tassely things or hair or whatever right here. Okay, so his foot is on top of the hat, so I'm erasing anything inside this foot so that I can see. Okay, so now they're all very happy, and I'm going to put in the eyes. So we've got one here, and these are small and far apart, and then their teeth, it is one in the middle, a V, and then we add some V lines out this way. So one, and then this guy comes down here, and they are uneven a little bit too, which is funny to me. Anyway, okay, this guy here, he is the angry guy. He's the guy in charge, obviously, and so his mouth is straight line at the bottom, angled at the top, and then they go up like this, and down, and then up like this, and then down. And then I'm gonna put, his eyes are here, but they've got an angle at the bottom of them because he's looking up at the other guy, and he's not happy about it, so he's gonna have an eyebrow. Okay, all right, now this guy right here, his mouth goes like this, with a little line on top of it. And then his is a V here, upside down V with 1, 2. That's simple enough, easy to do. Should have done his first. His is more of a square shaped eyes, and they are looking up, trying to anyway. This one, his mouth is open, so it's kind of like this, with that rainbow look to it, with 3 teeth. And you guys can change any of this. It doesn't have to be like this crazy cool Kakamora guys. They can be one way or the other. They're gonna still come out great, however you wanna draw them. Okay, this guy's a little bit disheveled, a little bit, because he's hanging upside down. So I'm still gonna put a straighter line at the top of his eyes. And then he's got like a wavy line because he's getting a little bit seasick from being shook around everywhere. This one's not happy about life in general, so he's gonna have a square here, and then maybe a square here. He's a little bit more frustrated than the other ones. And then his mouth is one of those classic ones that the Kakamora have. It's an angled line with 2 angled lines above and below. Then it's got the zigzag in the middle. That. Okay, all right, details. They're starting to come to shape. His feet, they all have these little nails, which I would draw first, and then draw circles around the nails, and that will make it look like their little funky little feet are hanging out here. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3 with the nail, the nail, the nail, This might be a little bit harder for you guys to see, and that's okay. If you want to just leave them with the lines on them, it's totally fine. Let's see, we're gonna do a little thumb here with the nail, and yeah, and he has 3. So we're gonna put 1, 2, 3. It's almost like Stitch from Disney. Okay, so now I've got his eyebrows here. So now is just the line work of filling everything in. Trying to watch their personalities a little bit come to life a little bit more. They all have those nails, so even if you draw little like paw looking hands, you want to still have their nails in there too. They stick out over. If you don't want to draw them, it's okay. They are a little bit tricky to do depending on how comfortable you are with drawing, but I am putting the circles in for the nails first and then drawing around them, which helps it go a little bit faster. Again, you may want to even skip over some of this detail part, which is fine. Okay, this guy, yeah, they actually have those hollowed eyes out, which I forgot about. So though that they have eyes, they're shaved out of coconuts. So we want the angles of those too. Okay, before I get all crazy detailed with everything, I am going to start outlining. So I'm gonna use a Sharpie. I'm gonna use just a regular Sharpie. I've got a couple on backup in case I need them. And then I will put the detail work in on these guys as much as I want to anyway. So I like to start in the middle and work my way out for this one so that he's nice and perfect in the size, and then the other ones kind of come into play in a minute. Okay, so whatever I think is on top is going to be one of the first things I want to draw. So for me, I'm going to try to get a finer point. Sharpie. Let's see what I grabbed here. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe this one. Okay. Yep. Make sure it works good before I mess up my artwork. Okay, so I'm gonna start going over his hair, hat. This is the part where you hopefully can really start seeing the details that are being put in, because once they are put in black, it's a lot easier to see what's going on. Okay, now this guy's got his line kind of angles out from his hat and then goes around the bottom like this. Okay, and I'm actually going to make this part a little bit bigger, and then very much like a rainbow again. Got a straight line here, a straight line here, his teeth also are very uneven. They don't match up, and that's okay. Okay, now I would then color in his mouth. See how long drawings can take? That's a good thing. That's fine. We ain't got tons to do right now. Okay. You end up becoming a master artist from drawing a lot during this quarantine. That's not a terrible thing. Okay. Then these lines right here are because it's hollow inside. He is a coconut. Okay. Now, it's also got eyebrows here. And he's got little spikes on his hat. Okay, now down this way, I'm going to put one part of his body, and then on the other side, I'm going to put the other half of his body. Now, his leg is actually coming up and over a little bit, even though he's being held up by the other guy. And then this leg is coming up and out a little bit. His both hands are holding him. So we're gonna put those in. And then his little hands are holding him right here. Gotta make sure to include the nail. And angled up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 for his feet. Don't forget his little nail that sticks up. And he has some wrapped feet. a little cray-cray. A little cray-cray, as those little guys are. This foot here. He's got his toe, and then it goes around, and then we've got another toe. 1, 2, 3, and then his feet are also wrapped on this side with this little nail sticking out. And his legs are wrapped. Okay, and then he's wearing some bandana looking things on his arms, so I'm gonna put one in here and one in over here. It's really just about like following the lines as much as you can. But the Kakamora have some classic faces, and so one of them is this mouth right here. That is an upside down V, the upside down V, then upside down V. Okay, super simple. Got that. All right. Now I'm gonna put a line here, maybe a line right here and here, and then he's gonna be looking up. He's trying to hold this other guy without falling. So he's looking up, coloring that in. Okay. Okay. These guys are so funny. They make me laugh, which is why I wanted to draw them. I thought they'd be fun. Their hands are hard. It's probably one of the harder parts of them. So if you don't get them right away, don't feel bad. It's gonna take some practice probably. And putting in his arm. Then again, if I'm outlining, I'm doing the nail first for the right and left arms of them. The other feet you could almost draw first and then put the nails in, but don't forget about them. Part of these guys for sure. Okay, now this, adding some here. This guy's they're fuzzy because they're coconuts, so I'm gonna add some fuzz as I go around. Their personalities are hilarious because somehow they managed to make coconuts look like they're stressed out a little bit, that they're angry, that they're upset, all the things. A lot of the detail work that is in these guys is going to be hard to portray right now with this Sharpie. You just won't be able to see it as good. So I'm going to do the best that I can to show you a couple different things, but for the most part, I'm going to try and keep it simple because, oh yeah, he's struggling. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to put some lines around his eyes because he's really trying very hard to keep this going, though they're about to probably fall on top of him. Put some more fur on him. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go down. And then he has a wrap around his ankle here, and then another one around this ankle here. Okay, and then his toes, again, claw first, 1, claw first 2, claw first 3, angling around, got another wrap around his feet, little funky feet, man, nail, foot, he's struggling slightly to keep this all together, and the other nail here. Okay, now this one right here, let's put some fur on him and some of these coconut lines. I think he should have some armpit hair because that would be funny. So I'm making some longer on this side. And then got a little line here, and then his little foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's got some wraps on his thing too. Okay. And this one is here, that, and then around and that, and around, and then that, and around. Again with the wrapping, as he's trying to hang on. Okay, I'm gonna clear off a little bit of the face so you can see better. Sorry if it's shaking the camera. They come in. All right, so he's one of our main guys. He's gonna have a little bit, he needs to have a little bit more of fuzz stuff going on the coconut. Even like some right in here. And okay, so that's good. Let's do this crazy guy up top. So I wanna start with his body. Make it go around, but be kind of scribbly a little bit. And like he's excited, but also kind of crazy, so that's good. And then 1, 2, 3 on the nails. 1, 2, 3 on the toes. And then a wrap around those 3 toes. My goodness. You know, this even said this was like a kid's book, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. But sorry, y'all, this is kind of tricky. It's not gonna be quick, which if you don't have anything else to be doing right now, then I guess that's fine, right? We're totally fine. You can hang out with me, give your mom a break, and just draw the best that you can. You can, if you're not liking how things are coming out and you don't want to outline it, that's fine. Just practice. It doesn't have to come out perfect every time. And these guys have a lot going on, which is again why I thought it would be fun though, because then if you don't like the way one's coming out, you can change it, draw it a different way. Oh gosh, this one's actually a shell, so it's gonna have the pointy end over here, the pointy end over here, and then it's got another pointy end over here, and then a pointy end over here. And yeah, that hat just kind of got away from me and a little bit gray, but that's fine. Okay, so some angled lines in here. And here. their mouth is open. I would typically color it in. This one should be 1, 2. Okay, now I'll clean that up in a minute so you can see it better. On this one, and then his nails, 1, 2, 3. One in the center, one looping around. Hands are hard, and this one has a whole bunch of hands. So again, if you just want to draw a few hands or a few Pachymoria, you can. You don't have to draw them all. Alright, this one is actually that thing. I twisted stuff around and put spikes on to make it look meaner than it is. Okay. Okay. Then this one here, 3, 1, 2, 3, nails first. There. With this one, like a broken piece of wood. And his nail. And then I don't know what that is. Stone. It's stone. Okay. Not too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna go to these guys next because they're in front, and then work back to the feet, and then the spears and his arms, and we're done. All right, so I'm proud of you for sticking with me this long, if you did. Okay, so their shapes are not completely circle. Okay, his arms and his hands are behind him, so we can draw the full circle first. I think you should add some hair to him because that would be funny. It's just one of the funny ones. Okay, this one has like a triangle right here, looks like, and then we have a circle connected or touching, and a circle here connected. He's looking off to his left side, like, get me out of here, that would be great. And then his mouth is like this. One more time. Zoom in if you need to. I've got little circles here. Go around. Okay. So he is hanging on for dear life because he doesn't want to fall. Maybe they're on top of the ship. Who knows where they are? But he's got his foot over here, and then he just has 3 little loops for the back of his foot, and then his thumb area is what's really doing the hanging on here. This one is trying to get it under control, but it's struggling a little bit. So he's got a little wrap thing on this foot too, and he is not happy. So we got nails here, and then 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, toe, toe, toe. Okay, now this one is this one you can see all the nails, and he's got one here, and then one here, like this, and loop around, and around, and around. And he's got like chubby hands and fingers for his life, so it is okay if it starts to look a little bit funky, because he is funky. He's got his weapon in his hand, which is really just a stick that looks like a sound thing that they did when they were coming after Moana. Okay, and this poor little hand is trying to hang on to life in general, I think. And loop. So this one is one thumb, and then one finger, two. So much easier when we don't have the fingers first. And 1, 2. Nail, nail, nail. Okay. He's gonna have some of the coconut fur on him too. Maybe a little bit gesture lines to look like he's moving. And then all right, last guy here. Let's see. We're gonna put his foot right here, looped around, hanging on, barely. He's got his foot wrapped, and his toe that goes around, and some lines in here like this. Okay, his body is longer, and he is upside down too. Also not very happy about it. I'm gonna put some fur here, some of his fur here. He's got a wrap around each ankle, and his toes on this side are going out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's over here. That, okay. And then let's put his face in. Now, his mouth is another one of the classic V's with another V and another V. And then he's freaking out a little bit. He seems a little more worried than the other one. I'm gonna color that in. He has more like paint marks and stuff on his face, but if we add those right now, you won't be able to see them. So I'm gonna keep it from being confusing. All right, he has a wrap or two on his wrist. He has 1, 2, 3 with one. With claws here, and then last hand. You've made it to the end. If you're still drawing with me, good job. That was a lot. I thought that if we did this mini Kakamora, then again you could pick 1 or 2 that you would want to do, and you could do them at home. Obviously all this is at home, but then you had a few to work with instead of just one, like if I had done Maui or something. So I thought this one might be a little bit more of a challenge. You could watch it a couple times if you wanted, and then that may fill up more of your time and be more of a challenge if you're wanting it. Again, if you don't want the challenge, you could just pick one of these guys and just draw one of them, and that would work too. Okay, so his arms go more straight out. He's like the strongest one, so I'm gonna try to make them mirror each other as much as possible. This one is the one that has the claw. So I'm gonna draw the thumb first on this side, and then the thumb first on the other side. Could you imagine having to design 58 bajillion of these guys? Oh my goodness. Like, they're nuts. And they're all computer animated. It's crazy. 1, 2, 3, and he's got a arm wrap here, here, and then pattern in that. 1, 2, 3 on the nails. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the spear has, of course, some wraps on this one anyway. Looks like. So this one has downward zigzags in it. Maybe it was like a pine cone or something at one point, but with a bend on it. And it's gonna come down just like that. A little. And he's hanging on to it, and I'm gonna draw the back of it there. This one, actually more of a shape in here. Looks like lines this way. And then again, this one's taller than the other one, so this is gonna come further down and then loop back up. Further down and then loop back up. And keeping my lines all lined up. You could use a ruler for this part if you really wanted to. Probably would be fine. And putting that in there. Okay. If you have a tiny Sharpie, you could fill them in. I'm going to do a time lapse of that and put in any more details in with a fine point. There is your Goofy Kakamora. Actually, I'm going to use a pen to put detail in for them because I outlined everything in Sharpie, and so I'm going to go back through and put details in. You don't have to do this part. You can start coloring if you want to color it in. If you want to leave it alone, you can. I would definitely suggest putting some things in there because you can. You have the time, and they'll look cool if you put some more detail in. So I'm just using a ballpoint pen, again trying to stick with stuff you guys have at the house, to add some of the details. And I'll do a time lapse more with just a regular pen. I'm gonna add color to these guys, but I want to match the original as much as I can, and I already haven't done that because I colored in some of their mouths and they're white and all the things. But you want to have a good red that's a darker red that you're comfortable with. It can be really anything. I'm gonna go with this one here. I might have another one here, and then I want to have the body color, which is a brown. I'm just going to use a regular Crayola brown, and then a darker brown if I happen to have it. I'm pulling all these out before so that because all of them actually are the same color, so I want to have everything ready. This is the face, Yeah, pretty close. And then all of their hands are like this pinky color, but it's more maroon almost. So I'm gonna use a Crayola Mahogany because that would be something more likely everybody would have hanging around. So maroon, and then a cream if you have it. Some sort of cream would be good. I'm gonna use this one here. And then the wraps on them are the same color as the face, or they may even be like another tannish tone. So I'm gonna pull that one too, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do a time lapse of coloring. Yay. One quick hit with coloring. If you wanna color something, anything, whenever you wanna do it, if it's something this big, it's gonna take you 10 years. But the best thing to do is pick a color and color everywhere where you want that color to go, and then be done with it. So I'll be moving it over here when I'm done with it. I'll still have it if I need to grab it again, but I'm going to only use one color at a time. So when I get down to here, I'll be done. Helps keep me organized, and it helps finish bigger projects faster. Okay. And there is your Kakamora. I hope you guys had fun. If you followed along all the way to the end, yay, good job. Don't forget to sign it in the bottom right corner, and then proudly go hang your masterpiece up somewhere I can't wait to see. Thanks for joining. Bye.